Greetings once again, you supersonic warriors out there. Duuz-Diz-Din back again with Sonic the Hedgehog by IDW. It's the fourth part of Urban Warfare. Previously, Sonic and the newly formed Diamond Cutters infiltrated the Eggperial City to gain some information on how to take it down, only for the Diamond Cutters to be trapped between dimensions, out of phase with this reality, unable to interact with anything but the ground they were standing on. So Sonic called in some backup. Amy, Tails, Blaze, Silver, the latter two on a bit of a sabbatical from their whole situation. And naturally, who should come in next but Team Dark to bust things up. So what did Eggman do? Drop a bunch of the shadow androids on them. Not traumatic for Whisper at all, right? As the group slowly finds themselves overwhelmed, the power source for this massive self-repairing city, fake Chaos Emeralds, are abound and bountiful. So Shadow tries to use one of them to do some destruction and get the group to safety. But these fake emeralds are unstable, causing Shadow's powers to go awry, separating Shadow and Omega from the rest of the group. Meanwhile, as the Diamond Cutters are essentially ghosts, they try to infiltrate Eggman's command center to find out what he's up to, only for their being out of phase to start to wear off, leaving them visible to Eggman, who decides to give sending them to another plane of existence a second try. Eggman is able to seal away both Whisper and Lanolin, but Tangle manages to escape, still able to phase through the wall. Unfortunately, she was up in Eggman's tower, leaving her plummeting to what could be her death. Things are starting to get really intense. Will Tangle be able to tell the team what she's found and save the rest of the Diamond Cutters? Or will our heroes become the very foundation for the Eggperial City? Join me as I find out, won't you? Pretty sweet cover, all things considered. Very dynamic. I love the ethereal nature to Tangle and the other Diamond Cutters. Solid action. Not my favorite, but very solid. Hammerstrom always does solid work. Alright, we have story by Evan Stanley, art by Thomas Rothleberg, colors by Jean-Paul Bove. That's a bit of a new one for me. Color assists by Ed Pierre, or Pierre. Okay, some new names. Letters by Sean Lee. Editors Riley Farmer and David Marriott. The story so far: self-replicating city, the Eggperial City, shadow androids, out-of-control chaos control. Alright, the plan to induct a massive power surge, and Tangle falling out of a window. And the massive roll call. Sonic the Hedgehog, the Blue Blur, fastest thing alive. Tangle the Lemur, excitable hero, Diamond Cutter. Whisper the Wolf, silent sniper, Diamond Cutter. Lanolin the Sheep, woolen warrior, Diamond Cutter. Amy Rose, hammer-swinging heroine, restoration ally. Miles Tales per hour, tech-savvy sidekick, high-flying genius. Silver the Hedgehog, young psychic hero, friend from the future. I love the alliteration. Blaze the Cat, fire-powered princess, friend from another dimension. Another dimension, another dimension, another dimension. Shadow the Hedgehog, the ultimate life form. Sonic's grim rival. Rouge the Bat, treasure hunting spy, restoration ally. E123, Omega, rogue superbadnik, robot hunter. Dr. Eggman, mad genius, egg enthusiast. I'm enthusiastic about eating some eggs. Alright, we take up with Tangle, plummeting to her doom. As she goes, shoot, shoot, shoot. No one can hear you but us, Tangle. You can curse. She starts to tear up, saying, nothing to grab. Sorry, Whisper, I'm sorry. Aww. And she phases through the ground. Yeah, I figured she was probably gonna pull a Kitty Pryde, but how's she gonna come back up? Oh, Kitty Pryde or Lumillion? And she goes down to the ground and pops right back up. Oh, okay, so it is basically like a Lumillion, essentially. She doesn't have much density now, but it's just enough that the ground is just like, you're not supposed to be here. Pop. That's pretty fun. Oh, and before Tangle can count her blessings for being alive, in comes Metal Sonic with devices to capture her. Oof, the intensity of those eyes, baby. And Tangle has to do her her best to just run out of there. I love Metal Sonic in the background pointing, being like, "Get her!" Tangle just barely avoids capture, saying, "Don't panic, Tangle, you can do this." With her just barely avoiding Metal Sonic coming in for another strike, Tangle goes zipping around a nearby corner, and as Metal Sonic gives chase, he finds nothing. Man, I love his blank face that's also like, the hell did she go? She just slipped into the ground. Using those kitty pride powers to their utmost. Nice. And of course, she can only stay in the ground for so long as it just vomits her out. Like, no, get out of here. Tangle sheepishly peeks around the corner saying, "Phew, he's gone. What did that trap thing do to me? Oh well. It's not good, but at least it's useful, right?" She then curls up into a ball, wrapping her tail around her, saying, "I've got to tell Sonic and the other what's up." Lanolin would know how to find them, and Whisper could get us there. Whisper, "I promise, but what if I..." Nope, don't think about it. Keep moving forward. Just keep moving forward. Oh, they're already such a good team. She's like, "What will Whisper do? What will Lanolin do?" Tangle goes racing off, saying, "That smoke is as good a lead as any. You'll figure this out, Tangle. You have to," with her being none the wiser that Metal Sonic has found her. Meanwhile, we pick up with Sonic and the gang scoping out the layout with with the Miles electronic, with Silver saying, "Like I said, it's simple. We know where Dr. Eggman is, so let's go get him." And Amy says, "Do you have any idea what kind of nonsense we found the last time we tried to raid a weird Eggman tower thing?" "Yeah, it was pretty weird." Silver says, "I'm not afraid of Eggman. If we work together, we'll win this for sure. We can make it if we all stick together." I love how appalled Amy is. Unsure Tails is, impatient Sonic is, and just over it Rouge is. Blaze stands up and puts a hand on his shoulder, saying, "Let's not be rash. It would be naive to assume victory before we begin." Tails paces around, saying, "Anything we can do to increase our odds of success is essential." But Rouge, she's having none of this and saying, "And our best bet at that is rescuing Shadow and Omega." Silver notes, "That does make sense," with Amy getting a little haughty, saying, "It's always best when cooler heads prevail." And then suddenly Tangle just pops out of the ground saying, "Finally found you guys," with Amy just going full in with the hammer. Oh man, it is a good thing Tangle is intangible, because this would have gotten a lot more graphic for a kid's comic. Unfortunately, the Miles electronic was not so lucky. So poor Tails, just picking up the pieces of his device. Amy recoils, saying, "I'm so sorry, it was all reflexes." Everyone comes over, peeking at Tangle, with Silver going, "What the heck happened to you?" Tails analyzes her situation, saying, "A semi-solid state. Remarkable," with Blaze noting, "What a strange power," while Tangle leaps up saying, "Hey, we found out some important stuff and the diamond cutters are in trouble, so everybody chill." Sonic questions Tangle, "Did the trap we ran into do this?" Tangle explains, "Yeah, I don't think it's what Eggman meant for it to do though. Whisper and Lanolin, they're stuck." With Sonic noticing the trap closing in on Tangle. Oh no, closing in on Sonic. With Tangle calling out to him, "Look out!" With Sonic dodging with his trademark at the very last second skill. With the trap coming back to Metal Sonic, who's hovering above everyone. Naturally, Metal Sonic immediately goes in for Sonic as they grapple, with Silver ready to jump in with his TK powers. But then suddenly the trap starts to close in on Silver, with Tangle telling him, "Don't let those things get close." With Tangle realizing, "He used me. Let me lead him here." And before Silver can be trapped as well, Blaze comes in, hands blazing, burning away the trap. Amy and Tails jump Metal Sonic, literally, while Sonic calls out, "That green light, I think those are the same kind of traps that got the diamond cutters," with Silver saying, "Not on my watch," as he uses his TK powers to crush them, with Sonic calling out, "Nice!" I love the pose Metal Sonic has, like, "Come on, I could do this all day," as he stands off against Sonic and Silver, with Silver saying, "Looks like we've got no choice. Let's do this." But someone calls out, "Oh no you don't." Oh, it's Amy, who says, "We've got big problems, no time, and most importantly, I am not in the mood." She says as she hits the ground that they're standing on, causing everyone to lose their footing a bit. The ground breaks and collapses under Metal Sonic, with a piping behind him crashing down on top of him. Nice! Very controlled destruction, Amy, with even Rouge clapping, saying, "Just the kind of direct diplomacy we need." Meanwhile, Tails questions, "We should get moving before he comes back." "What did you need to tell us, Tangle?" Tangle explains, "Oh, right. We figured out how to take down the city, but first, where's Shadow?" Uh-oh. Yeah, that's right. They kind of need him for this. We pick up with Blaze, Silver, and Rouge. A bit underground from the looks of things, with Blaze lighting the way and Silver questioning, "It's hard to believe this is the same street as before. You really think he's still here?" Rouge says he'd better be, for all our sake. Blaze tells the two, "Quiet. We don't know what enemies may still be lurking around here." Rouge dismisses her, saying if any of those androids were left, we would have seen them by now. Uh-oh, suddenly something takes a swipe at her as she recoils. And as Blaze illuminates everything in the distance, we see a downed Omega with a shadow android still in his grasp. Rouge calls out for Omega, saying, "There you are, still in one piece this time, big guy?" As Rouge playfully knocks on his chassis, Omega explains, "Affirmative. As soon as I am free, I will exact my revenge on this treacherous terrain." And then suddenly the ground under Omega collapses. Jeebus. And this causes both Blaze and Silver to fall. Right? It's not like Blaze and Silver can keep themselves aloft with their powers. Oh look, that's exactly what they end up doing, as they find themselves in an even lower cavern with several egg mechs. Is that is it Egg Dragoon, I think? And more of those weird chaos crystals. As Rouge makes her way down, she tells the others, "Look." Silver catches himself with his TK power, saying, "Whoa, that's a whole lot of egg mech." Blaze slowly slows her descent with her abilities as well, and Rouge calls out, "Looks like using those fake emeralds has some nasty side effect," as we see those weird chaos crystals pretty much encasing Shadow. Weird. Rouge goes in saying, "I guess they don't call them chaos for nothing. Let's get him out of there." I don't know if you should touch that. Oh geez. Suddenly several of the shadow androids awake, Walking Dead style, standing in Rouge's way. Meanwhile, we pick up with someone hot-wiring something. Probably Tails. Yep, Tails is activating the lift. Are they going up to Eggman's base, whatever? Amy notes what they have to do, saying, "Okay, first, we break into the control room. Second, Tails disables Eggman's safeguards for the fake emerald power grid. That way we can rescue Whisper and Lanolin, and crashing the system will stop the city from growing, right?" Tails says, "Yep, otherwise the city will keep expanding forever. That's my hypothesis, at least. If I still had the Miles electronic, I'd know for sure." Amy says, "I said it was an accident." Oof! Suddenly the lift comes to a jerking halt. Amy falls forward with Sonic barely catching her. How romantic. With Sonic turning to Tails, questioning, "Why do we stop?" Tails says, "Going by the sound, I'd say something's wrong with the cable system. But what? Metal Sonic?" "Yep, Metal Sonic." As Sonic calls out as they all look up, saying, "I think I might have an idea." We see Metal Sonic taking the cable and slashing right through it, causing the lift to fall from under everyone's feet. But, Tails can fly, so he grabs a hold of Sonic and Amy with his hands, with Tails grabbing a hold of Sonic's foot, keeping them all aloft. Only for Metal Sonic to once again go gunning for Sonic, swiping him out from under everyone as Tangle calls out for Sonic. But Tangle's having none of that and goes and dives for Metal Sonic, striking at him as he tries to strike at Sonic, with Tangle calling Metal Sonic, "You sneaky jerk. Try beating up my friends when you can't see," she says as she wraps her tail around Metal Sonic's head. Sonic goes pinballing around the shaft that they're in, with calling out, "Thanks, Tangle." Meanwhile, back with Team Rescue Shadow, I guess we could call it. Everyone is engaging with the Shadow androids, with Rouge calling out, "We're running out of time, people." But Blaze says, "Can't get an opening." Omega opens up with a whole lot of DACA, saying, "Stand down. If it's an opening you require, then I will provide," as he starts mowing down some of the Shadow androids. The other three try to go for Shadow, but they're pushed back, I guess, by the energy emanating from the mutated crystals surrounding Shadow. Blaze saying, "Ugh, it's overpowering." But Rouge is determined, saying, "I'm not getting bossed around by some overgrown rock." But she's zapped back by the energy of the fake emerald. With Blaze catching Rouge, she calls out to Silver, "We can't even get close." Silver tries to use his power, saying, "I can handle it." And as he inches closer and closer, he says, "If I can just figure out why it's..." Ooh, but as soon as he touches the crystal, he's overwhelmed by the power. With Blaze and Rouge only able to look on in horror. Oof, yeah, it just looks like Silver touched an electrical socket. But he's undeterred as he tries to use his TK powers to move the crystal away from Shadow. Ooh, jeez. Only for more of the crystal to grow from underneath him, sending Silver flying. It almost looks like he would have gotten impaled by that. Yeah, it looks like it hit his shoulder as he holds it in pain, saying, "This is bad. It's growing faster than I can tear it off. Maybe this is more than I can..." Someone calls out for Silver, with Blaze simply giving him a confirming nod. Silver gets his confidence up, saying, "Right." And he starts using more and more of his power, saying, "Get ready to be free, Shadow, because I'm not giving up that easily." Meanwhile, back at Eggman's control room, he tells Orbot as he looks at a monitor, "Ah, that must be Shadow. His chaos controls made the fake emeralds unstable. Keep it up, fool. The more you try to use my emeralds, the bigger they'll get. More power for me and my city." Orbot interjects, saying, "But boss, isn't that dangerous? If the city's infrastructure can't keep up." Eggman dismisses this, saying, "That's what my safeguards are for. Even if the emerald's power overloads, power overwhelming, which it won't, I'll just reboot the system again." But suddenly, Sonic, Tails, Amy, and Tangle, who is still on top of Metal Sonic's head, come bursting into the room, with Sonic saying, "Surprise, Eggy, sorry we didn't knock." Eggman calls out, "Gah! What did you do to Metal?" Or, "What did you do, Metal?" Someone is getting a very strict software patch after this. But as Eggman goes typing away at his console? Laptop? It's kind of hard to tell what he's typing at with this art. But Amy boots him out of the way as Eggman says, "Egad!" While Tails accesses the panel, Sonic gets into a standoff with Metal Sonic, saying, "Just you and me, Metal," while Tangle recoils off of Metal Sonic as one of those weird traps approach her, saying, "Not again." But Sonic and Metal have a go, as Sonic calls out, "Let's dance." As they engage in pitched combat, Sonic manages to easily block all of Metal's hits, saying, "That all you got? I want to fight, not play patty cake." Meanwhile, Orbot and Cubot cower behind Eggman's throne, with Cubot saying, "Sorry, boss." And Cubot says, "I must have left my combat subroutines in my backup drive." While Amy holds Eggman at hammer point? Let's go with that. As she says, "Sonic's got Metal handled. No backup for you." Eggman suddenly pulls out, the heck is that? The stapler from Office Space? Stapler. He pulls out something, saying, useless. Oh, it's a blaster. Oh, jeez. As he says, "Do I have to do everything around here?" As he blasts Amy's hammer out of her hands. Jeez. Not the first time he's held Amy at gunpoint. Sonic is distracted, suddenly crying out for Amy as he sees this, with Metal Sonic full-on socking Sonic in the face. Jeez, looked like he knocked the taste out of Sonic's mouth. So, Sonic's down, Amy's down, Tails looks around him saying, "Come on, Tails," only for Eggman to slowly approach the small fox from behind. Tails tries his best to keep tapping away at the monitor, while Eggman tries to grab at him saying, "Stop that!" And Tails tells him, "No!" Meanwhile, Tangle is being closed in on by the trap from before, but Tangle smiles as he hits one last button as Eggman tries to grab him. And suddenly I guess it was a holographic monitor, disappears as Eggman says no. And Tails just looks at him like, "What do you mean no?" Oh, suddenly Shadow awakens as Eggman says, "You have no idea what you've done. Without the limiter, there's nothing stopping the emerald's growth." Yeah, the emeralds start to grow at an exponential rate, utterly tearing through the Eggperial City. This causes the tower to start to topple over. At this point, Sonic jumps to his feet to confront Metal. Amy looks like she's down for the count. Tails manages to escape Eggman's grasp. Tangle just barely manages to be captured yet again, and Orbot and Cubot go tumbling. Eggman then hits a button on his vest saying, "Fine." Oh! And then the tower sprouts legs. Oh, that's really kinda cool. The tower is a giant massive egg walker. As Eggman calls out, "Time for Plan B." As at the base of the egg walker thingy, something starts to open up. Okay. Okay, you definitely got me interested in what's gonna happen next. Because that's the thing, with the emeralds just growing exponentially, how exponentially are they gonna grow? How much power do they boast? And how uncontrollable in general could they be? That's some power overwhelming. Not to mention Shadow awoke. Is that a good thing? Is he gonna be alright? How are they gonna rescue the rest of the diamond cutters too? Well, I'm deeply fascinated, but let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. What is Plan B? This honestly feels like one of the more ambitious things that Eggman has tried to do. Mostly just because it's really kept me guessing. But I want to hear your thoughts, so remember to subscribe for more Sonic the Hedgehog. Subscribe for more Sonic the Hedgehog. And I want to say, until then, thanks for watching. I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.